Dear students, today we are going to read a mysterious story, The Pond. The Pond. Look, look! There is a peacock in the garden! Screamed Samir. Meena smiled when she had asked the twins if they would like to spend their summer holidays with her at her grandparents' ancestral home. They had agreed immediately. All three of them enjoyed trekking and bird watching in the town. Its backdrop of hills and valleys offered plenty of opportunities. Shamim took out her camera to take a photograph, but the peacock had already turned away. Don't worry, we will see more of them, said Meena. Want to go to the mango orchard after breakfast? Oh, yeah, yes, said Samir. I can't wait to eat mangoes right off the tree. Meena's grandfather sighed. You might be disappointed, he said. This year the mangoes are not as sweet as they were last year. But you always have the sweetest mangoes in town every year, Meena exclaimed. I know, frowned Grandpa. The trees are looking a little unhealthy. I don't know what's happening. A disease or some destructive insects? Suggested Samir. I have checked, said Grandpa, sighing again. But I don't see any signs that I recognize. Cheer up, Grandpa. I'm sure it will be all right, said Meena. Why don't you come with us to the orchard? Grandpa shook his head. I have to meet Shankar Nambiar, a businessman, in about an hour. He has been trying to persuade me to sell the orchard to him. But why? Asked Meena. These are hard times, said Grandpa with a wry smile. Here, wry means humorous or hilarious way. And he is offering a handsome sum for it. If the trees are dying, I might as well sell the land. But isn't this your ancestral property? Asked Samim. Grandpa nodded. What can I do? I'm too old to take care of it alone. May my grandmother, the great Ratna Devi, who built this house brick by brick, forgive me. You children, run along now. I don't want to bore you with my sob stories, he said, laughing unconvincingly. After breakfast, Meena took the twins to the attic. Ratna Devi was a famous dancer and a favorite of the royal family. They gave her many gifts, and Grandpa told me how hard she worked to build this house. Some of her things are still lying here, she said. A cloud of dust rose as the three of them pushed their way into their room. Meena found what she was looking for, the large trunk with Ratna Devi's possessions, delicate shawls, heavy anklets, books in various scripts, and a pair of spectacles. She has said to have left a lot of priceless jewels too, but they have never been found, said Meena. Didn't she leave any clues? Asked Shamim. Just a few lines in her will from one of her favorite classical songs. I am an open person, but there is still a secret in my mind. Look deep inside through my eyes, and you will see all that I see. They searched the whole house, even checking behind her portraits to see if there was anything. But they found nothing, replied Meena. What if we find the treasure? Said Samir. It would be a perfect holiday adventure. That only happens in books, scoffed Meena. Let's go to this orchard before it gets too hot. The trees in the orchard formed a canopy as the three walked through them, spotting squirrels and butterflies. Whew! I need a rest a bit, said Samir after they had wandered around a bit. They found a shady nook and sat down. Just as they started chatting about school and the mountain of the holiday homework they had to do, Shamim sat up, pointing at something straight ahead. Look, a snake, she whispered. They were on their feet at once. I must get a picture, she said, running behind the snake as it disappeared into the bushes, its body gleaming in the faint sunlight. Are you mad? Huffed Samir, following her. Hey, look, a pond. Shamim gave up her chase. It's gone, she grumbled. First the peacock and now the snake. Why don't you take a picture of this lady sitting here? Joked Samir, pointing to a statue beside the pond. She is no danger of running away. That is Ratna Devi, said Meena. I used to splash around this pond when I was younger. Oh, it is so hot, said Shamim. I feel like taking a dip right now. The three of them jumped in. It is not that deep, said Shamim, plunging in. The other two were content to stay afloat. After a few minutes, Shamim emerged with a puzzled expression. Shamim emerged with a puzzled expression. I went to the bottom, said Shamim, and it looks like someone has been digging here and there. What on earth for? Asked Samir. Strange, said Meena. I should tell Grandpa about this. They splashed about for some time and then decided to go back into the house to change out of their wet clothes. Let me say goodbye to Ratna Devi. Let me say goodbye to Ratna Devi, said Samir as he walked up to the statue and bowed in a mock reverence. Meena winked at Shamim and suddenly screamed, Snake! Snake! Samir was so startled that he crashed into the statue. The statue split into two, with the back half falling to the ground with a thud. Oh no, you have broken it, said Shamim. Meena examined it gingerly. How could the statue have fallen into two neat halves like this? It was then that she noticed the small hinges. The statue was hollow, she said. Look, the back portion opens like a door. There is nothing here though. I am an open person, said Samir, recalling Ratna Devi's will. Did she mean this statue? Was she telling us how to open it? Look deep inside through my eyes, and you will see all that I see, continued Shamim slowly. She walked to the statue and placed herself within the hollow. There are holes in these eyes, she said, and I can see the left corner of the pond. Do you think it is the treasure? Asked Shamir and Meena together. But if someone had been searching here already, wouldn't they have found it by now? There is an inscription here, said Shamim, pointing to the foot of the statue. It says Ananda Nambiar. He must be the sculptor who made this statue. Nambiar, said Meena. Wasn't that the surname of the businessman coming to meet Grandpa? Shankar Nambiar? That's the name Grandpa mentioned, nodded Shamir. Ratna Devi wore spectacles, didn't she? The line says, look deep inside through my eyes. Shamim started. The other two caught on quickly. They raced to the house and clambered up to the attic. Within minutes, they were back in the orchard with the spectacles. Place it on her nose, Shamim told Meena. Shamim fitted herself into the hollow of the statue and peered out through the Ratna Devi's eyes. These are not ordinary glasses, she exclaimed. They have magnifying lenses. What do you see? Asked Meena impatiently. I can see the same spot. It is just match. I can see the same spot. It is just much closer, said Shamim disappointed. Wait a minute, said Samir. The line said, look deep inside through my eyes. Samir mentioned Shamim to step out of the hollow and peered through the glasses perched on Ratna Devi's nose. So, standing face to face with the statue, I can see a tree, he said. There, that one with the two crows. The three of them ran to the tree. Meena dug around it with a sturdy stick that she found lying there. She felt it hit something hard. A box! Cried Shamim breathlessly as Samir and Meena lifted it out of the ground together. Let's take it to Grandpa, said Meena excitedly. They picked it up very carefully and took turns to carry it home. Grandpa was sitting at his desk looking worried. He tried to smile when the children walked in. We think we found Ratna Devi's treasure, said Meena, putting the box on the table. Can we open it now? Grandpa looked surprised but nodded. Here, let me help you, he said. He opened the box, lifting the rusted bolts with care. The children peered over his shoulders and gasped when they saw its contents. Diamonds, sapphires, rubies, each gem more beautiful than the other. It is the treasure, Grandpa said in a disbelieving voice. How did you find it? The three of them filled him in, and we think that Shankar Nambiar is somehow connected, ended Shamim. I was just wondering if I should go to the police about him, said Grandpa. When I told him that I still hadn't made up my mind about selling, he threatened me with dire consequences if I didn't sell by the end of this month. Bolstered by what the children had told him, Grandpa went to the police station to file a complaint. The inspector then paid a visit to Shankar Nambiar and searched his house. It was then that they found it, large quantities of herbicide hidden away in his garage. Nambiar broke down and confessed that he had been adding the herbicide to the water Grandpa used to irrigate the orchard. He told the police that Anandan Nambiar, the sculptor of the statue, was his great grandfather, who had rambled about the statue and the hidden jewels on his deathbed. Nobody took him seriously at that time, but when Shankar heard the story from his grandmother later, he believed it. He researched the local libraries and discovered that the priceless jewels really did exist. He had been looking for the jewels everywhere but couldn't find them. He had even dug in the pond to check. He had then decided to buy out Grandpa's property to be able to strip it down completely and somehow find the jewels. But thanks to your children, his plans were foiled, said the inspector. Grandpa beamed. I don't know how to thank you, he told them, tears of happiness welling his eyes. You can have us over again next summer, remarked Samir, to eat your incredibly sweet mangoes. Here, the end of the story. Thank you, all of you.